So today we are starting from the Java do while loop. The do while loop is a variant of while loop. Basically, that I'm going to the while loop. It is just a minute. That do while loop is basically what? That I have declared a variable, and while I'm comparing a condition that I is greater than 1, if that condition is true, then it is going to that block or body of that while loop. And after that, it is that system.out.println, and that I, whatever the value of I is, it is printing on your screen. After printing, it is going to that I minus minus. That means it will be increased the value of I by 1. Yeah, sorry, it will decrease the value of I by 1. So I have 5 minus 1, that is 4. So when that is 4, it is again, it is checking, going to the while condition part. This is the basically, it is checking the condition. While it is checking the condition, then it is going if that condition is become true, then only it is entering the body of the while part, and it's doing whatever I have assigned into the while loop body. It is doing the thing. So now we are in the do while loop. The do while loop is the variant of while loop, but this loop will execute the code block once before checking if the condition is true. Then it will repeat the loop as long as the condition is true. Basically, while it is checking the condition first. Then if the condition is true, then it is doing the whatever the thing I have assigned into the body. That part is executing. But when we are in the do while loop, let's see that first see the syntax. This is the syntax. Basically, we are using the do while loop. So first do, then with the curly braces create the block or the body for the do, and then while part, that same thing, while the condition. Now going to that example, look at this. Look at that example. Int I equals to 0 I have assigned. Okay, and do system out of print ln I. That means, look at this, in that particular do part there is no condition to check. It is we are saying that to do what? That system out of print ln that I, that means the value of I, just I am telling that to print the value of I. After printing, it is going to the I plus plus. That means I'm giving the direction to increase the value of I by 1. So after increasing the value 0 plus 1, now the value became a value of I is now 1. After increasing the value, increasing the value, now it is coming, it is checking while I less than 5. Is the value of I is less than 5? Is that now what is the value? This is not the value. That value I have printed on the screen. After that, I have increased the value by 1. Now the value of I is became 1. Now new value of I is what? 1. It is checking while after increasing that, it is going to the while part, and it is checking 1, the value which is the value of I, new value of I. It is checking, is it lesser than 5? Is this, it is checking the condition. If this is lesser than 5, then again it is going to the do part, and it is entering the do block system.out.println I. Now it will print in the screen I. That means the value of I is, the new value of I is 1. After printing, it is again increasing that value of I by 1. Now the value of I is 1, and I plus plus mean I plus 1. That means 1 plus 1. Now that is 2. Again it is in, after increasing, again it is going to the while part. Now 2 is lesser than 5. Yes, it is again true. So again it is going to the do part. Up by increasing 1 by 1, after increasing the while that increasing the value of I by 1, up to when that value by increasing the value, when it is became uh, 5, it is checking that 5 is less than 5. No, it is not, it is the same. So it will give you that condition is became false, so it will not go to the do part for the last one. Just a minute. Yeah, hello, I'm in the hello. আচ্ছা আচ্ছা আমি পরে কথা বলি because I'm in the meeting right now. I can talk. So it will be very better if I call you later. Okay. Hello. So basically, what is the do while part? See the difference. While part, it is checking the condition. Then, if the condition is true, then it is printing. Then it is increasing the value. Then again going to check that condition is true. If the condition true, then it is printing the value. But while you are in the do while part, what it is doing, first of all, it is doing the thing. It is printing the value. Then it is increasing the value. Then it is checking the condition. Basically, in the while part, condition checking is the first priority. Then if the condition is true, then it is printing the value, then it is increasing the value. But while you are in the do while part, the first priority is printing the whatever the value of I is, print it in the screen first, then increase the value, then check the condition. That means while first priority in the while, first priority is the checking the condition. If the condition true, then print. But in the do while loop, print the value, then increase the value or increase or decrease the value, then check the condition. So basically, again, that system router println, why that I, no condition is here. So do system router println I. What is that I? I is 0. Now, after printing the I, here is that I plus plus, that is the increment part. That is by 1. 0 plus 1, that is 1. When that became I is became 1, now it is going to the while part and it is checking the condition at the end. At the end. So 1 less than 5, yes, that condition is become true. So when that condition is become true, again it is going to the do part. Now the value of I is not 0 now. Now just because we have already increased the value, after increase the value, when I have checked it, now it is 1. So it is again going to the do part. So system out of println I. So it will print you I, the 1. Again it will increase. Again it will check the way when up to the 5, when because look at this. I that loop. What is that loop? Loop is basically the thing how many times you want to execute that particular condition. That's the size you need to mention. If I mention here instead of 50, that time that loop will be execute up to 49 times because then only it will stop execute the loop because equals to 50. But here I have been given the condition that 50 is that the less than the value of I have to be lesser than 50, then the condition will be true because I haven't used that less than equals to. If I give that less than and equals to, that means two condition we are giving, that value of I have to be lesser than 50 or equals to 50. That time, in that time, that loop will execute up to 50. But here I haven't used the equals to sign. I am using only the lesser than. So that basically what is that? That 50 is the size I am mentioning. How many times I wanted to execute. How many times you want to execute your loop. If I am writing here that 50, so it is starting from the 0 to 49 will be in your screen. Because when, as per your requirement, if you wanted to execute 5,000 times, there also you can do. Otherwise, that is the basic facility. That is the facility and that is the beauty of the loop. Otherwise, if I wanted to print 1 2 0 1 2 3 up to 5,000, that time system out of print ln, you have to write that particular line 5,000 times. 5,000 time you have to write it. And system out of println within the round braces 0. System out of println in the round braces 1. This is what this way you have to write it. But that will take lots of time. That will increase the size of your code and the size of your code and the complexity that is become very tougher. So when I am using the loop, the beauty that loop, this is the beauty of that loop, just increase the number how many times you want to execute your loop. What is your need? You want to print 5,000, 0 to 5,000, okay, no problem, just write here 5,000 and that 0 to 5,000 will be in your screen in the next line. That is the basic loop. So now tell me that do while part, is anyone having any issue into that do while part? Do while loop? Hello.
No, sir.
Sir.
Okay. Okay. So everyone, so this is an important program. So everyone, please execute that program your end from your end. And again, that same thing, create the class block. Under the class block, create the main method, that is public static void main string out. Then create the main method body using the curly braces open close. Under the body, declare the variable, use the do while loop and execute your program, execute your loop how many times, keep the size properly, that how many times you wanted to execute that loop. Okay. Try to execute that program.
Done, sir.
Getting the output.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So everyone done.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just a minute. I'm going to the next topic.
Yes, sir.
Now the Java for loop. Java for loop. Basically, the Java for loop is kind of the basically the thing that the whatever the thing I am then doing in the do while loop. Okay, that same thing in a single line basically. So we have going in the Java for loop. There are four steps: initialization, condition, increment, decrement, and the statement. Initialization. What is that initialization? Look at that do while example. That variable I am declaring, that is the initialization, because I am initializing a variable. Now condition. Condition, what condition? That condition I have given in the while loop. Increment and the decrement part, that I am using in the I plus plus or the I minus minus increment or the decrement. And what is that statement? Statement is basically that system out of println, that is called a statement. Now see the syntax. Syntax of that keyword you need to write within the round braces. First of all, declare a variable, then condition that you are checking the condition less than I less than 5, I greater than equals to 5, less than equals to 5, not equals to 5. That condition you need to give. Then the increment and the decrement, that I plus plus or I minus minus, and the statement that under the for loop body. Using the curly braces, I have created the body. Under the body, I am writing C standard out of println and whatever the thing, that statement. That is the basic syntax. Now, what is that initialization? It is initial condition which is executed once when the loop starts. Where we can initialize the variable or we can use an already initialized variable, it is an optional condition. Condition, it is second condition which is executed each time to test the condition of the loop. That condition, it will check the condition each time that if you wanted to execute your loops 5 times, that times that condition will be executed 5 times. That means until and unless that condition is, that statement is become false, that condition will be executed. Basically, that I less than 5, I greater than 5, the timing, the number of times that you want to execute that loop, that is the condition. And it must return boolean value either true or false. When you are using, like, okay, it will be return you that true or false, right? That condition. While I less than 5, I suppose I'm checking I is 1, I less than 5, is that condition true? I am getting the result, or that condition is true or false. That is a boolean value. If the condition is true, it is going to the next step. If the condition is false, it's stop the execution. So what I am getting from the condition, I am basically getting from the condition basically that boolean value, that is the either true or false. It is an optional condition. Increment and the decrement, it increments or decrease the variable value. It is an okay statement. The statement that whatever you are giving the system out of printer, you are writing any message, or you are printing any value, or printing the value of I, whatever the thing you can give into your statement. Now see this. What is the syntax of for loop? What is the syntax of for loop? For that keyword, we need to write integer I equals to 0. That is what the first thing, initialization. So I have declared the variable, or the initialized the variable, that integer type variable int I equals to 0. Now you need to separate it with that termination sign. Now give the condition I less than 5. I am giving the condition that I is less than 5. Again, the termination sign. Now the increment and the decrement part, I plus plus, round braces close. Now I am starting the for loop body, that is under the body I am giving the statement, that is system.out.println, whatever the value of I will be, that I wanted to print in the screen. Cool. So basically what it is doing, look at this example. I'm explaining the example. Okay, public class, for example, that a class I have created, name is for example. Under that I have created the main method public static void means string out. Now coming to the for loop, for integer I equals to 1, a very integer type variable I have declared, and add that value is I is 1. Now it is checking I less than equals to 10. It is checking is that condition is true. 1, that means y, the value of I is what? The value of I is 1. 1 is less than or equals to 10. Is that condition is true? Yes, that condition is true. When that condition is true, it is entering the for loop body. When it is entering the for loop body, system.out.println, I am printing the I. That means I am printing the value of I. I am not printing y. That I have initialized here. That I am calling that I. That means I am printing the value of I. So when that condition I less than equals to 10, when that condition is become true, it is entering the for loop block or the body, and it is printing the value of I. After printing the value of I in the screen, now it is going where? To the increment and the decrement part, that I have used here the increment I plus plus. I plus plus, that means I plus 1. Now it is increased the value of I to 1. When it is increased the value of I, so again after increasing the value of I by 1, now value is become 1 plus 1, that is 2. When that I became 2, again it is going to the condition part. I less than equals to 10. What is the value of I now? 2. Because I have increased the value by 1. So now the value of I is 2. 2 less than equals to 10. 2 is lesser than 10. Condition is true. Again, it is entering the for loop block. Again, it is printing the value of I, new value of I, that is 2. After printing 2 in the screen, again it is going to the increment part. Again it is increase the value. Again it is going to the condition part. It is checking the condition. If the condition true, it is entering the body. It is printing the value. Again it is increase. It is increasing. Again it is going to check the condition, that Is it true or false? Condition is true or false. It is lesser than 10 or not. It is equal to 10 or not. That condition checking. Again, it condition true. Again, it is printing the value. Up to the 10, when that value of I is became 10, now it is checking. It is lesser than 10. No. Equals to 10. Yes. So again, that condition is true. Again it will print the value of I, that is 10. After that, again after printing the value of I 10, again it will increase, it will not stop, it will increase the value of I. 10 plus 1 now is 11. After 11 it will check I is less than 10. No. Yeah, sorry, 11 is less than 10. No. 11 is equals to 10. No. So condition became false, because that from the condition we are getting the boolean value, that is true or false. True, so entering the body, printing the value. False, so it will stop the execution of the loop. That is the basically for loop. That while do while part that we are doing in the multiple line, that same thing basically we are doing in the single line. That is basically the for loop. That is anyone having any issue into that particular for loop?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
So okay, so execute that program.
Completed, sir.
Okay,
Sir,
everyone.
done.
Okay, so I'm going to the next topic. Look at this. Look at this example. In that, in here, what is the change? The change is simply, in the previous example we are using the I plus plus, right? So it is increasing I plus plus. That means I, value of I equals to I plus 1. If the value of I is 1, that means now the I is I plus 1. That means 1 plus 1, that is 2. That means we are increasing the value by 1. But here the simple difference is that particular thing, that I am increasing the value by 2. Not only 2, you can increase the value by 3, 4, 5 as per your requirement also. Basically the thing, this is the simple thing. So basically how this is working. Int I equals to 0. 0 less than equals to 10. Is that condition true? Yes, true. So it will print the 0. After that it is going to the, basically this is what, this is the increment and the decrement part. This is nothing special, this is the increment and the decrement part. Basically in the previous example we are increasing the value of I by 1. Here we are increasing the value of I by 2. So I, that condition 2, it will print the value of I, print the 0. So now value is 0. Now it is 0 equals to I equals to 0 plus 2. Now the value is became what? I is equals to 2. 2 is less than equals to 10. Yes, 2 is less than equals to 10. Again that condition is true. System out of println I, 2 will be printed. Look at this. Just because we are increasing the value by 2, that's why it will skip the 1. Because whatever the value after increasing, whatever the value will be, that value will be going to the condition part. That means that 1 is not going to the condition part, because 0 plus 2, I is 0, 0 plus 2, that means 2. 2 is going to the condition part, that 1 is skipped. So 2 is less than equals to 10. Yes, 2 is less than that condition true. System out of println, it will be 2. Again, after that, again it will go to the increment part. 2 plus 2 became 4. 4 is less than equals to 10. Yes, condition true. It will enter the body and it will print the 4. So basically when you are increasing the value by 2, what is happening in your screen also, the by 2 in whatever the value by increasing by 2, whatever the value became, that value will be in your screen. That means 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, like that. But if you are increasing the value by 1, that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, step by step it is coming. If you are increasing the value of I by 4, that means 0, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, like that way it will be printing. Understood?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Yeah. Now the another loop, for loop. But this is what? This is the for each loop. This is the for each loop. There is also for each loop which is used exclusively to loop through elements of an array. For the timing, don't need to remember what is that array. We don't need to understand what is an array. But I will say one thing. This is a special variable. For the timing, you just remember that array is a special variable. Why special variable? While you are declaring or initializing any variable, how many values you can store in a variable? One variable, against one variable you can store a single value. Suppose you have declared a variable suppose you have declared a variable string y equals to, suppose, three value you want to store into that variable. That is not possible because a variable can only store a single value. A variable can store a single value, but you want to store multiple values against one variable. That can also possible in Java. Multiple values against one variable. Look at this. Cars is the variable. String cars is the variable. How many values I have stored? Four values I have stored. When I am storing multiple values, that means or more than one values against one variable, basically that is an array. That's why just because I can store more than one or the multiple values against a one variable, that's why I am saying that array is the special type of variable. Nowhere it is just for understanding. I am saying you can this kind of thing you will not get anywhere. No one will say that this is a special variable, but I'm saying because so we can understand what is an array, because we need to make it easy so we all can catch it up, so we can understand that concept. Basically same thing, not a big difference in that array also. Between the variable and the between the array there is no huge difference. Look at this, the huge difference. If you can see, the difference is, suppose suppose what is the variable declaration? If you are initializing any variable, what is the syntax of variable declaration? The syntax of variable declaration is what? First of all, you need to declare the data type. What type of data you want to store into the variable, that data type you need to mention. After that, the mandatory thing is you need to give any name to your variable, right? After that, equals to, and the value you have to give. Same thing I am doing, but two little differences there in the array. That is, look at this. After the data type, I am giving that square brackets. That means the third bracket opened and closed together. This is the sign of array. This is the sign of array. Now that sign you need to give in extra, number one. And the second thing, in array, I am adding multiple, I am giving multiple values to a variable. Simple that two difference between the variable and the array. So that's why I am saying that, so we can understand that array is a special variable where I can store multiple values against one variable. For the timing, that is enough. There is a separate chapter for the array. So what is that for each loop? For each loop, look at this. In the variable declaration, suppose we have declared a variable int I equals to 1, and that 1 I want to print in the screen. If I call the variable name, simply if I call the variable name, it will give you an output that 1, right? But when you are working with the array, in that case, if you are writing that system.out.println and that cars is the array name, that cars is the array name. If I am writing system.out.print after declaring the array, if I writing the system.out.println and the cars within the round braces, it will give you an error. You will not get the output because this is an array. This is not the normal variable. For printing each and every value from the array, that array value, whatever the number of value you have stored into the array, that value you want to print in the screen. That means that Volvo, BMW, Ford, and the Mazda, that four values you wanted to print in the screen. But if you call that particular name, you cannot print. In that case, you can use that for each loop. For each loop basically used to print the array element in the screen. For each loop basically used to print the array elements into the screen. So each and every elements, whatever the elements or the values you have added into the array list, into the array, that you can show in your screen. For that, how to use that for each loop? Same thing. Either it is a for each loop, but basically it is a for loop. So that for keyword have to be there. Within the round braces, I am writing string I. That is what? Can anyone say that? String I, what is the string I? Hello? Can anyone say that? What is that string I? Simple thing. Simple answer. Very simple answer. I know you guys can answer that. String I is what?
Variable declaration.
Yeah, this is the variable declaration. This is the variable declaration. Simple. This is the variable declaration. Very good. So the syntax of the for each loop variable I have declared, that is string and the I, and I have used that colon sign, colon, and here I am writing what? That cars is the array name. That means colon equals to just like the variable declaration. Let's see, string I, instead of using equals to, I am using the colon, and in the place of the value I am giving the array name. Right? Easy na? Very easy. String I colon cars. That means string type variable I have declared. The variable name is I, and instead of using equals to, I am using the colon sign, and in the place of the value I am assigning the cars. Now into the I string variable, whatever the elements I have stored in the array comes into the I variable. That comes into the I variable. Now system.out.println, just simply calling the I. Whatever the value in the array element will be printed in your screen. Is it very tough? Very easy for each loop. Simple thing. Now tell me, anyone having any issue into that for loop part for each loop?
No, sir.
Yeah, because very easy. Just using the for each loop, just storing the array elements into the normal variable, just a normal variable, but just because this is the for each loop, just using the special that colon, and I'm assigning all the values into the variable. But if you try to declare a normal variable, I want to store multiple values, that is not possible. But when you are using the for each loop, in that case it is possible to store multiple variables. That whole array I am storing into the normal variable, because this is the for each loop. Execute that program, everyone.
Done, sir.
So completed.
Okay. You guys are getting nothing. The concept you are getting now. Anyone, please don't hesitate to tell me that if you are not getting anything, or if you are stuck in on anywhere. Please let me know. Don't hesitate to say that, sir, I am stuck here. Please explain me that particular thing. I will explain multiple times. I can explain that until and unless you are not getting the thing. I can explain that. That's my
Sure,
job.
sir.
So Java break and continue. Java break and continue. You have already seen the break statement used in earlier chapter in this tutorial. It was used to jump up out the switch statement, right? That break keyword we have used that in the switch case. So to jump out from the switch case, whenever it is getting the particular result, whenever it is getting, so it can jump out from the switch case. In that case, we are using the break statement. The break statement can also be used to jump out of the loop also. If you want to suppose you have assigned a loop, you have created a loop that should be execute 10 times. That should be execute 10 times, but you want to control your loop. Suppose basically using the break and the continue statement, you can control your loop also. If after assigning that your loop should execute 10 times, after that if you want to change it, if you want to know that when that loop execute 4 times, from there I want to break the loop. I don't want to execute that. So what I have assigned that to loop will be execute 10 times, but I want to execute only 4 times. After that I want to break the loop. In that case also you can use the break statement. How? See that example. I am assigning for int I equals to 0. What is that? Initialization. I less than 10, condition checking. I plus plus is the increment part. That means under the for loop body, where I in the previous for loop chapter, in the for loop example, where I am writing here a little bit changes I have done. I am using the if statement. I'm not is using equals to 4. I double equals to 4. When the condition is checking, after that it is entering the body. When it is entering the body, another condition I am giving using the if statement, I double equals to 4. If that condition is become true, it is entering the if block and breaking the loop. Now let me explain. Can you try to explain that? Whatever you are getting, whatever you are understanding, please, yeah, you guys do one thing. You guys try to explain so I can understand that how much you have learned the concept. Hello, who will explain? Anubhav Mukhopadhyay. Can you explain?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please explain. Try to explain. If you can, very good. If you can't,
The break statement, right?
Yeah, that breaks that particular example. Can you
Yeah, sure. So in the loop, it is said that I int I equal to 0 and I less than 10. So the loop, like the loop is supposed to run till I reaches 10. But
yeah.
if we want to control the loop, it is said that if I equal to 4, then break. Then whenever the value of I reaches 4, it will jump out of the loop and it will print only up to 0, 1, 2, and 3.
So it just tell me that, just explain me that how that condition is going on, how it is checking.
Yeah, so at first it will take 0 equal to 0, then it will check whether 0 is less than 10. So it is true. And then it will increment the value of 0 and then
No,
it
no,
will be
no,
1.
no, 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 no. When that condition is become true, it will not increase. When that condition is become true, it will enter the body of the for loop.
Yeah, when the
So,
condition is true, it will enter the body and then it will check whether it is equal to 4.
yeah,
And then so 0 is not equal to 4, then it will come out of the body and print
print what?
and print that value that is 0.
Yeah. After that,
Then it will again go to the loop and increase the value.
yeah,
Then it will be 1.
yeah,
It will again come inside, see that it is not equal to 4, then it will again come out of the body and print that value that is 1. Then the same case for 2 and 3. But when it will come to 4, it will come inside the body and see that it is it is equal to 4. So it will directly come out of the loop statement.
yeah, yeah.
So up to that it will print.
Yeah, very good, very good. So same thing.
Yes.
Basically, you are using the for loop with the for controlling the using the break. Basically, what will happen? Integer I equals to 0, I have initialized. 0 less than 10. Is that condition true? Yes, that condition is true. When that condition is true, it is entering the for loop body. When it is entering the for loop body, it is checking that there is an if statement. If 0 less double equals to 4, is that condition true? No, that condition is not true. So it will not enter the if body. So it's going where? That system out of println I. So it will print 0 in the screen. Again, it will increase the value. Again, it will check. When that value of I is became 4, it is checking. Now again that condition true. When I that is 4 less than 10, condition is true. It is entering the body and it is checking if I that is 4 double equals to 4. Yes, that condition now became true. So it is entering the block of if statement and it will break the loop. After that, it will not print anything. It will break the loop. After that, from there, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3 will be printed, and then from the 4, you will not get any output. But I have assigned that I less than 10. That means 10 times the loop should be executed. Just because of that break statement, it will not execute up to 10 times. It will only execute up to 3 times. When that 4 is became that value is became 4, it will check, and from the 4 it will break the whole loop. This is the way you can control your loop also. Anyone having any issue into that particular program?
No, sir.
Okay, execute.
Sir.
Execute that one.
Done, sir.
So going to the next topic, okay? Java continue statement. The continue statement break one iteration in the loop if specified condition occurs. Same thing, same example, just remove the break statement, break keyword or the break statement and use that continue and see the result. You will understand the difference. I will not explain. You don't. I don't need to explain that code. Just remove the break and write that continue and execute the program. And you can see the difference. What is the difference between the break and continue? Is it done? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting the output? Have you used the continue keyword? That continue.
Yes, sir.
What is the difference?
There break statement, it comes out of the loop and prints up to 3 only.
Huh.
It skipped that fourth iteration
Yeah.
and it continue the printing up to
Yeah.
10.
Yeah. That is the basic difference between the break and the continue. It will break the particular 4. After that only it will skip the 4 only. It will skip only 4. After that it will print all the thing. All the source. In the this example is for the using the while loop. Continue in the while loop. What is that? Int I equals to 0 while I less than 10. That condition I have given. System out of println I plus plus. If I double equals to 4, break the loop. This is basically using the while loop. See that example? If anyone is not getting that example, please you can tell me. I will explain. Now, the Java arrays. Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Java arrays. Arrays. That arrays. What is that arrays? Arrays are used to store multiple values in a single variable. That I was talking about. When you are declaring any variable, a simple normal variable you are declaring, in that case, you cannot store multiple values in that particular variable. But into that array, you can add more than one values instead of declaring separate variables for each values. Otherwise, if you want to suppose, look at this 10, 20, 30, 40, four values against one variable. If you want to store that 10, 20, 30, 40, you need to declare different variables. For the four values, you need to declare four variables. Then only you can store that. But assigning one variable, and on that particular variable I am initializing four values, that is an array. To declare an array, define the variable type with square brackets. That is the square brackets. That is the identification of an array. This is the sign of an array. And in like the variable, you have to give separate name or each and unique name each and every variable. That same thing, you need to give unique name to your variable or array also. We have now declared a variable that holds an array of string. To insert values to it, we can use an array literal, place the value in a comma separated list inside curly braces. Now, how to store multiple values? String, the data type I have mentioned, given the name, that array name I have given, equals to within the curly braces open and closed. Under that, just because the data type what I have mentioned, that is a string data type I have mentioned. That means string data type means how we write that string: first value, second value, third value, and the fourth value. And each and every value we need to separate from each other. Otherwise, it will become confused. So use now four value we have stored into a simple normal. With an array integer type, if you want to add the integer type array, create an integer type data type as integer, give the square brackets, give the array name, and within the curly braces, put the whatever the value you want to store and separate it with the comma. This is a basic array. Now tell me, anyone having any issue in array?
No, sir.
Okay. Access the elements of an array. You access an array elements by referring to the index number. What is that index number is basically the index number is starting from the zero. When you are working with the array, each and every value that you have added into the array list, into that whatever the value you have added, each and every value have their separate index number. What is that index number? Basically, index number is a number, but it is starting from the zero. It will not start from the one. Basically, we are start counting. If I'm counting anything, so in that case we are starting from 1 2 3 like this. But in the time when we are calculating the index number, in that case we are starting the counting from the zero. That means Volvo, BMW, Ford, Mazda, that is not 1 2 3 4. That index number is zero. Volvo in the zero number index, BMW in the one number index, Ford in the two number index, Mazda is in the third number of index. That means the array elements, the if, and another thing there is in array, you can specify the length also. If someone is asking what is the length of your array, what is the length of your array, that means in the time of calculating the length 1 2 3 4, that means what is the length? 4 is the length of your array. But what is the highest index number of your array? That time it will be 3. Why? Because in the time of the calculating the index number, we are starting from the 0 1 2 3, but the length, in the time of the length, it is starting from the 1. That means what? That after creating any array, the length will be bigger than the index number. If the length is 4, look at this, that length is 4, but the highest index number is 3. That means 3 is lesser than 4, right? Are you getting the thing? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what is the difference between the length and the index number? Highest index number will be 3 because 0, we are starting from the 0 0 1 2 3, but the length will be 4 because 1 2 3 4. That means always, every time the length will be bigger, index number will be smaller. Now, just because that each and every value have their own index number, 0 1 2 3, Volvo have 0 number of index, BMW have 1 number of index, Ford have 2 number of index, Mazda have 3 number of index. That's why by specifying the index number, you can pick up any particular value from the array. In the previous example, we have used the for each loop. Why? To print each and every element from the array. Print the each and every element. If I wanted to print each and every element from the array, that I can print using the for each loop. But my intention in that time is to pick up any particular value. Any particular one value I want to pick up. How we can do, and I wanted to pick up any particular value and I want to print that particular value in the screen. How we can do that? Use the, by specifying the index number. How we can specify the index number? System.out.println cars. What is that cars? Is the array name. And then write that, give that square bracket open close and write the index number of that particular value, which one you want to pick up. Here I have mentioned 0 because I want to pick up the Volvo and want to print it in the screen. If you want to print the 4, so what will be the index number that you need to write here? What will be the index number of 4? What is the index number of 4?
2.
3.
3.
No, index
2.
number is from 0. Index number is from 0. Volvo in the 0 number of index. BMW is in the 1. Ford is in the 2. I am asking what is the index number of 4? That is 2. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So just cars, give the square brackets under that. Which one you want to pick up? Mention the index number. Just mentioning the index number, it the particular element will be in your screen. Execute that. Execute that. আস্তে দেখেছে করবার একটু বাকি হুম Is it done, everyone? Hello. Have you completed that array program?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you should let me know. Otherwise, how will I know that you have completed? Okay. Now, what is the next thing? Anyone having any issue into that array? Just tell me. I think you have given the wrong answer, so I have doubt that you have got that point or not. Hello.
Done, sir. No issue.
Okay. Now the next thing is change an array element. Suppose I have added here 4 elements. 4 elements I have added. Now my intention, I wanted to change that BMW. I want to remove that BMW and I want to put new values into the BMW in the place of that BMW. That means in the one number of index, what is the index number of BMW? That is 1, because in the 0 number index that Volvo, and the 1 number of index that is the BMW. In the 1 number of index, whatever the value is there, I wanted to replace it with new values. How we can do that in the array? Simple. Cars index number I am mentioning. You need to mention the index number. You need to mention the index number, in which index number you want to replace with a new value, and equals to, you need to write the new value that you want to insert into that particular place. Here I am written op1. Look at this string cars array I have created up, and I am in the place of the Volvo I am writing ope1. I am mentioning cars in the 0 number index. I want to put that new value, and when I will execute that system.println, and I am calling cars 0 in the place of the Volvo, that will be the op1 will be there. That output will be the op1, because I am picking up, look at this, I am not printing the whole array elements. I am picking up that particular 0 number index value in the screen, and just because I have updated the value, the updated will be the op1. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, array length. To find out how many elements on an array has, use the length property. In the Java, there is an inbuilt like function or the method, that is the length property, length function. String, because I have a normal array I have created. After that, I wanted to know what is the size of that array. What is the size or the length? In the previously, I have just told you index number starting from the 0, but the length is normal. Length is starting from the 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means the length of that particular cars array, that name of the array is cars. That means we can say that array is cars array. So what is the length of the cars array? That is 1, 2, 3, 4. When system, after declaring the array, system.out.println cars, the array name dot length property you are using, that length, that means that length you are using, that means if you want to know the size. Suppose here I can calculate the size 1, 2, 3, 4. But if it is uncomfortable, in that case, what will you do? Using the length method, you can know the size of your array. What is the size of your array? Basically, that length. That in that case, the output will be 4, because 4 elements is there. That means the size will be 4. Java arrays loop. Java arrays loop, that means loop through an arrays. How we can use an array in the loop? In the using the for each loop, we can print all the elements from the array, and by specifying the index number, I can print any particular array elements. But suppose you just know Volvo, BMW, Ford, Mazda, 4 elements I have added into the array, but in the time I wanted to print from the BMW, Ford, and Mazda, I want to skip the Volvo. In that case, what you can do? In that case, what you can do? That Volvo I want to skip. That Volvo I want to skip, and BMW, Ford, and Mazda, that 3 only I want to print in the screen, or that Ford or Mazda that I want to print in the screen. Look at this concept. Using the for loop, you can do that. Not for each loop. This is the for loop. For same thing, initialization. Variable initialization. Int I equals to 1. I am starting from the 1. I, that means that that value of I is lesser than cars dot length. Using the cars dot length, what I can know? using the cars dot length, what I can know? Just in the previous example I have shown you. Hello.
It will show how many characters, how many elements are there in cars.
Or the length of your arrays. What is the length of
Yes,
your arrays? And
it's four.
I have told you the index number will be smaller each and every time. The index number will be smaller than the length. Length will be bigger. If the length is 4, the index number is 3. And look at this. How we can pick up the particular array elements using the index number 0, 1, 2, 3. There are 3. Last index number is 3. So I am using I less than cars dot length. That means cars dot length is what? In that case, in
4.
that particular program, what is that cars dot will execute up to 3, right? Because when that value of I is became 4, 4 less than 4, that condition is became false. So that will execute up to 3 by increasing the value. And that value of I am putting system.out.println cars, and within the square brackets I am giving that I. That means whatever the value of I is, that I am using as what? That I am using as the index number. Look at this. Just a minute. Look at this. Suppose I want to change the particular array elements. Look at this. I want to change the Volvo, that word, that string I want to change with the OP1. How can I change that? That change. Now I want to print that particular element. That particular whatever the elements, whatever the value in the array, in the 0 number index, that I want to print in my screen. How I can do that? System.out.println cars array name, and within the square brackets I am mentioning the index number, right? Here I am mentioning the index number. That means from that particular index number, pick up the elements and print it in the screen using the SOP, that system.out.println. Using the cast.length, I can know the length of your array or the size of your array. I am doing int I equals to 1, I less than cast.length, 1 less than cast.length. Is that condition true? Yes, that condition is become true. So it will enter the for loop body. In the for loop body, what statement is there? System.out.println cars I. The way we are picking up any particular elements from the array, and I am printing the in the screen, that same way I am using, but in the place of the index number, particular index number, I am assigning the value of I. That means I am assigning 1. That means that 1, that condition is become true. So cast dot I, that means what, that I am assigning here, that means value of I is I am assigning here. That means what is the value of I? That is 1. That is 1. That means cars 1. System.out.println cars 1 in the 1 number of index. What is that in the 1 number of index? That is the BMW. Because in the 0 number of index, that is Volvo. But here I am writing here from starting from the 1. So it will go to the 1 number of index because I have assigning the I. Assigning the I. So that BMW will be printed in your screen. After that, it will increase the value of I plus 1. That means 1 plus 1, that is 2. 2 less than cast dot length. Again, that condition is became true. So it will again enter the for loop body. System.out.println cars I is now 2. Cars in the 2 number of index, there is 4. 4 will be printed in your screen. Now again it will increase the value of I. 4 2 plus 1, that is 3. 3 less than cast dot length. Yes, 3 is less than cast dot length because 3 cast dot length is 4. So true. Again enter the body, enter printing the statement cars I is what? I is now 3. So in the 3 number of index, cars 3, that means cars 3 number index I want to print. That is Mazda will be in your screen. After that it will again increase 3 plus 1, that is 4. I is now 4. 4 cars dot length is also 4. 4 less than 4, yes, that condition is become false. Now condition false, it will not enter the block, it will stop the execution. Now what is the output you have got? BMW, Ford and Mazda, because array depends on the 0 number index. Array based on the index number that is starting from the 0. But here I have assigned that I is 1, that's why it is starting from the 1 number of index. because that value of I have assigned in the place of the index number. So when that is 1, so that 1 is coming here. So it is picking up the 1 number of index. When it is 2, it is picking up the 2 number of index because it is coming here. But if you want to pick up from the beginning, you can start it from the 0 here. You can initialize the value of I from the 0 if you want to print the from the beginning, or whatever the index number you want to start from, initialize the value of I from there. If you want to print it from the 2, then like 0 1 2, you want to start from the 4 index number, you need to mention that is 2, because that I we are going to use as the index number. It is a little bit complicated, but you guys can pick it up. Is it clear to you all, or
Done, sir.
done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically that is the array name, that is the using the for loop. Okay, and this is the syntax of the for each loop that I am not explaining, already I have explained that for it is that very easy. A variable declared, instead of using the equals to, I am using the colon, and then here I am assigning in the place of the value. Simple. For within the round braces, I am declaring a variable. Why that is a string type? Because look at this, that array is a string type. That array is a string type, and that is not possible if here I am mentioning that is integer I, and here I am storing the string data type data. That is not possible. So the data type have to be matched with the array data type. So I have here, just because that array is a string type, so the variable I have also mentioned that is a string type. I, instead of using the equals to, I am using the colon. Instead of giving any particular value, I am assigning the cars here. So I am storing into the I variable, and I am calling the I. So each and every element will be in a string. Is that anyone? So that was the last topic. In the next session, we are starting from the Java multi-dimensional array. Okay.
Sir, by using for
Yeah,
loop
tell me.
only we can fetch, no? Why was the for each loop?
You properly. Can you just
Okay. Sir, that string array for fetching the value, by using only the for loop we can fetch. Why we have to go for each loop?
look? The difference is between that. Look at this example. Look at this example. For each loop. First of all, let me check it that for each loop, that means look at this, into that variable I am assigning the cars. That means I am assigning the, will execute that I am calling that I. That means Volvo to Mazda. How many elements? 1000, 2000 elements I have added in the array. Every element will be printed. Look, I want to print only the Ford and Mazda. I don't want to print the Volvo and BMW. I want to print only the Ford and Mazda in as 2 from the 2. So that 2 I am assigning in that cars I in the index number. So cars 2, that means cars 2 will be printed Ford. That BMW and Volvo will not be. Execute that particular loop. Then only you guys can understand properly. Execute that.
Okay, sir.
Execute that one also, and that for each loop also. First of all, execute that one.
So this one is done, but I'm not getting the for each one actually.
You are not getting the for each one. Okay.
Yes, sir, for each.
Let everyone execute that one. Noor haven't execute that, so let her execute it. Then I'm going to the for each part. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, I'm done. I get clarity.
Yeah. Now for each loop. Going to the for each loop. What you are not getting, Ujasvi?
Sir, the for string I colon cars, this line I'm not getting.
Yeah, this line you are not getting.
Yes, sir.
First of all, you just tell me what is the syntax of variable declaration. Normal variable declaration. Normal. You want to declare a variable, that one. How we can declare a variable? Just simple syntax. You just need to
String and the variable name, but like string in the variable name
equals to then the value.
equal to then the value.
Value.
Yes.
Yeah. Here, look at this. What is the data type of that array?
Yes, sir. Cars.
No, cars is the name.
Oh,
Cars
data.
array data
Yes.
type. Data type. It is a string
String.
type. String type. So the syntax of for each loop is that for that keyword you need to write within the round
is equal
braces.
to array name.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
That string I, the normal, the same way, and in between the round braces, I am simply think that I am declaring a variable. A simple with the two difference. With the two difference, I am declaring a variable. Data type I have given as string. That I is the variable name. Here I need to give what? I need to give equals to. But we are doing
Yes, sir.
for each loop. We are not giving equals to, we are giving the colon. And in that cars, that array name here I have given, I am in the, if I am declaring any variable in that place of cars, that means the after the equals to, I need to give the any particular value. But here, instead of using equals to, I am using colon. Instead of giving any particular value, I am writing the cars, that array name I am writing. So that I am writing the array name, that means string I equals to, take this colon as an equals to. If you are taking that colon as equals to string I equals to cars, that means cars having that 4 value, right? Volvo BMW Ford Mazda. I am assigning the cars here, that means the whatever the value that cars array is containing, all the values I am storing into that I variable. A simple variable. This is nothing, just a simple variable. Instead of using equals to, I am just using the colon. And instead of using any particular value, I am assigning that array name. Whenever now, just like the simple variable I am calling, that same way I am just calling that variable I, and it will give you the output that Volvo BMW Ford Mazda, because all the value where I have stored into the cars array, and that cars array I am assigning into that variable I, string I. That's why whenever I am calling that I, each and every element from that array will be in your screen. Basically, using the for each loop, I am assigning the cars element into the variable. Directly we cannot do. Using the for each loop, I am doing that. When I'm using the for, that means it is become part of the for. That means that variable became powerful just because of that for loop. That's why we are indirectly, I am storing multiple values into that variable. That array I am storing, that means the multiple. So I am just calling I, so I am getting the output of the elements of the array. Getting, or still you have confusion?
Yes, sir. I have understand properly. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. So that was the last topic. So in the next session, we are starting from the Java multi-dimensional array. Okay. So
Okay, sir.
okay. So anyone having issue during the in between that session, whatever the topic we have covered, anyone have stuck on anyone anything, you can let me know. Okay. So
No,
I think
sir.
no one having any issue. So I'm stop. Let me stop the recording.